and Philippe Stress, followed by Fabre, is the last but one man on the grid. Only 24 on the grid. Christian Danner non-starting and Campos non-starting. This is the crucial time of the Monaco Grand Prix. The first corner. Watch the lights in the top left corner of your screen. Red, and then less than 7 seconds later, the green will go. The Monaco Grand Prix for 78 laps will be on. And Mansell takes the lead, followed by Senna, Piquet, Prost, and Alboreto. And Mansell and Senna and Piquet and the Ferrari and then Prost are through Sandoval safely. Thank heavens for that. It looks as though the rest of them are too. And that is a blessing, because all too often in the past, as I said, no, that is Philly Ballio who has spun, the man who was so quick, and Nakajima is in trouble, but it is Mansell as he goes out of Casino Square, down to Lowe's hairpin. Nigel Mansell, who has dominated practice, and that is Nakajima, the Japanese driver in the Lotus, with the camera on his car. And so often we have problems with the camera, but there is Mansell leading on lap 1 into the tunnel, followed by Ayrton Senna. This is up into 6th gear here. Then they come into the sunlight, down to the chicane for the first time, and Mansell is doing as he did in Belgium, building up a handy lead with Piquet 3rd, Alboreto is 4th, Prost has gone down to 5th, Eddie Cheever is still 6th, Johansson is in 7th place, and Nigel Mansell in the very powerful Williams Honda with its fuel-efficient engine leads round the swimming pool.
Well, Alboreto is really charging. He's already passed Prost. He's having a look for a way around Piquet. Tremendous start by Mansell.
Mansell through to complete a lap. Then Senna, Piquet, Alboreto 4th, Prost 5th, Cheever 6th, Johansson 7th, and Boutsen going extremely well in 8th position. Round the right-hander at Sandoval, up the hill. And Mansell, who is seemingly in a class of his own these days, look at the lead he's built up on the 2nd lap. He seems to be anxious to prove that he is the man, and who can blame him? I say, remember that Mansell was the man who has put up 3 pole positions this year already. He's been on the front row of the grid every race this year. 7 pole positions in his career, into the tunnel for the 2nd time. Fuel is not so much of a problem at Monaco as it is at many of the Grand Prix this year, because it's a comparatively short race in terms of distance, about 160 miles, although it can run the full 2 hours. 2 laps. Coming up, round the left-hander, out of the chicane, down towards the swimming pool again, and you can see for yourselves now the gap. That's Ayrton Senna in the active ride suspension Lotus Honda. And he goes down towards La Rasca, back into 1st gear, and in the pit already René Arnoux, and out of them in the grossly overweight Ligier. They're working on that before Detroit for the French Grand Prix. But Mansell goes through into Sandoval now. 2 laps completed. The Englishman starting to build up a handy lead, which in terms of time is now 2.6 seconds. Piquet, Alboreto, well within sight of the Brazilian's Williams Honda. This is Casino Square. The famous Café de Paris on the right, which is being pulled down. You can see the hoardings on the left of your picture. There's Piquet with Alboreto closing and pulling away a bit from Alain Prost. And I suspect that already Alain Prost, that you see coming down to Lowe's hairpin now, is doing his usual watching brief, although he's got Eddie Cheever right behind him.
Yes, it was a very long race. There is no point in rushing in the early stages. Nigel Mansell really building up a very good lead.
And Nelson Piquet, I notice, is starting to close a bit on Ayrton Senna. The gap between Mansell and Senna now is still 2.6 seconds. There is Alain Prost. And Eddie Cheever is swarming over Alain Prost's gearbox now, metaphorically speaking, with Gerhard Berger right behind him. And the two Ferraris have had a lot of work done on them. They have a new suspension set up here, they have a new under tray to help the aerodynamics, and they're going well, despite the fact that Berger had a big crash in practice. So there is Prost through, Cheever through, and Alain Prost goes up the hill, and the race order now on this, the fourth lap. Nigel Mansell leading, Ayrton Senna in second position, Nelson Piquet is third, Michele Alboreto is fourth, Prost there is fifth, Eddie Cheever is in sixth place, in seventh position is Berger, and Bootsendweller. Low session. I remind you that in the Monaco Grand Prix, the thing to do above everything else is to keep your car in one piece. The sparks are being struck there because the car has a pretty heavy fuel load on at the moment. The titanium skid plates underneath the car are hitting that bump through the tunnel and also into Casino Square, where there are deep grooves in the road. I noticed last night when I was walking around the circuit, and here is Prost, Cheever, Berger, and ahead of them Nigel Mansell, Ayrton Senna, Nelson Piquet in third position, Michele Alboreto in fourth, and there is Prost fifth, the man who's won for the past in this 58 lap race, and you can see that the right front wheel is missing.
Yes, the stress looks as if he's trapped in the car. Looks like he's had quite a heavy accident.
This, regrettably, is Philippe Streff's second accident in 2 Grand Prix, and Massenet, for those of you who don't know the circuit, is the very fast left-hander round the Hotel de Paris, leading into Casino Square at the end of the hill, and this is awful for the marshals because they have the problem not only of getting poor Philippe Streff out of the car, but of making sure they don't stray into the road too much, because that's where the cars are going past them, and mighty quick. Indeed, it's about a 100-mile-an-hour bed. There is Martin Brundle going round. The steering wheel off, and we rejoin the race. This is lap 11, with Mansell now 7 seconds ahead.
Brussels is starting to get a little bit anxious now about getting past Alboreto. We've already said it's no easy matter overtaking here, but the leaders are getting away. Mansell, Senna and Piquet are starting to build up a gap, and Prost has got to make a move soon.
Indeed he has, because the gap between Prost and Alboreto, which is vestigial, is 4 seconds between them and Piquet, who is in third position, and then Piquet some 13 seconds behind the second place man Senna. There they go up the hill, past the stricken Streff's car. Now down the hill, past the rebuilt but not yet reopened Hotel Metropole into Mirabeau Corner. That is where Patrick Tambay had his colossal accident with Martin Brundle last year. And indeed, Michele Alboreto in fourth place in the Ferrari, better but not good enough. There the yellow flags are waving as Nannini goes through in the only Minardi in the race, and he is in 12th position. And I'm beginning to wonder if they are going to be able to keep the race going.
Yes, I feel with so much work now, as a matter of safety, they really should stop the race. Give the masters a chance to work on the car properly.
Well, Streff out of the car, that's a blessing anyway. And I noticed the crane, which is strategically placed there, is all ready to haul the Tyrrell away. And Streff, who is inclined to get uptight before a race, will now, in in following races, particularly with the pressure from his English teammate Jonathan Palmer on him, be a worried man in future, I fear. You can see the rope there dangling from Saint Devote. That's for the same reason as the crane at the corner that they are at now. And they are Alboreto. There he is, number 27, the Italian, who has 5 Grand Prix victories behind him. And Alboreto and Cross, who are 4th and 5th, are easing away a bit as they come down to Lowe's. From Eddie Cheever, 6th, there he is. Berger, 7th in the red Ferrari. In 8th position, Derek Warwick. So both the arrows are going extremely well. Mansell leading. Warwick in the arrows is in 8th place. Jonathan Palmer is 13th and leading the 3.5 litre class. And Martin Brundle is 16th in the sex speed. And we are on lap 13. There's Fabre, about to be lapped by the battle for 4th between Alboreto. Now, is Fabre going to get in the way? He's been warned. He isn't. He's warned in Belgium for not using his mirrors, and he's shot sideways as though he was attacked to the Arco by a rubber band.
Yes, that's right. He did exactly the right thing, got well out of the way as he was being lapped, but that will be a little bit of a disappointment to Frost, because
Kima in the Lotus Honda now. Behind him, and he waves his hand to the right to say, pass me to the right, and Alboreto and Cross need no second invitations. That they are through, and that has given Cross his opportunity. Now he might just get through as they come up to Saint Devote. This is one of the few places they can get through, and Alboreto knows that, of course. He's a master of passing there himself, and he holds the Frenchman off. And as they go up the hill on lap 16 out of 78, there's Eddie Cheever. That's Alboreto 4th, Cross 5th, Mansell leads, Senna 2nd, Piquet 3rd, Cheever is in 6th position.
That is a pointer to Frost's form, who of course is still struggling along behind Alboreto. They're dropping ground a lot. Mansell keeping his lead around about 10 seconds.
By the way, who I mentioned earlier on as going extremely well, is no longer going at all. He has stopped at Casino in 12th position, having broken 3 drive shafts this morning in 2 separate cars in the half-hour warm-up. And that means to say that Jonathan Palmer in the Tyrrell 3.5 litre car, and he's leading that class comfortably from Philippe Alliot, who was a lot faster than him in practice this morning and is not showing on our lap charts at the moment. Alliot now, Mansell is right with Andre de Cesaris' Brabham, which is now 15th. Mansell goes through, see? And as you see, Cross is mounting another attack. He's taking a deep breath and he's having a go at the Ferrari.
Yes, same old problem. Over 20 laps now, he's been stuck behind Alboreto. Alboreto, very much aware of that. His tactics will be surely to not rush, make sure he makes no mistakes, and let Frost try and find a way around. That is really a big problem at Monte Carlo. Frost, with all his skills and experience, just simply cannot find a way around the Ferrari.
Well, he will continue to try, the little Frenchman. He's far more intent on finishing at Monaco than winning, although so often in the past, just by finishing, he has won the last 3 years. And he knows as well as anybody that this is a race of attrition. You can see the little radio mast sticking up in front of him, slightly to the left of his small windscreen, through which he could converse with the pits, and interestingly in Belgium needed to, because his electronic fuel counter went down. But in the lead, he very coolly called the pits and asked them to find out how the fuel consumption of Stefan Johansson's McLaren was going. He was second behind Prost and going at about the same speed. They checked with Johansson and then told Prost everything's all right, and Prost motored on and won the race. So there is cooperation, and advanced technology for you. Round the right-hander, La Rascasse in fourth position, the V6 Scarlet Ferrari, and there are thousands and thousands of Ferrari support. Honda moves into the lead at the Monaco Grand Prix on lap 30. What has gone wrong with Nigel Mansell? We can expect to see him come out of the swimming pool into the Rascasse and then into the pits. So the thing that Ayrton Senna has no doubt been praying for inside his cockpit has happened. Something has gone wrong with Nigel Mansell's Williams Honda. Indeed, he comes into the pits. And Senna has gone through in the lead. There are the Williams mechanics ready to receive it. Is it going to be more than a tyre change? Mansell looks up and shouts something at his race engineer. He's already lost first place. This is a very slow pit stop. It's more than tyres, no doubt at all about that. Nigel Mansell, having led from the lights turning to green until lap 29, looks as though he may be out of the Monaco Grand Prix. What tragic luck.
Yes, well, everything's a bit pretty serious. They got the engine cover off. Mansell has really already been there much too long to remain in contention. And he's getting out of the car, so it's all over for Nigel Mansell. A great shame, a very assured drive. He drove well within himself and was controlling the race very nicely from the front, and his car's let him down.
And everybody's heart must go out to Nigel Mansell, who had driven superbly. He had built and maintained a cushion between himself and the race leader, now Ayrton Senna, was controlling the race from the front. And it looks like an engine problem. Senna now leads, and in second position behind the Brazilian is his countryman, Nelson Piquet. Senna gets the lead, the signal, and the active suspension Lotus, this is very significant, now leads the Grand Prix, as Senna has led Grand Prix this year in the past. Another bit of excitement is that Jonathan Palmer is right up with Caffey, who is now in 10th position, because now on lap 31.
Physically demanding to keep attacking throughout the race, taking his breath, but he's definitely getting very aggressive about it now.
And these two are 11 seconds behind Piquet, and the race order on lap 34 out of 78 is Senna leading, 17 seconds ahead of Piquet. Third is Alboreto, fourth is Prost, and you watch again, Prost mounting an attack on the Ferrari as they exit the tunnel. Fifth is Cheever, sixth is Warwick. Both the arrows then are in the points. And I think that's the first time this year, and certainly for a very long time, that has happened. But Alboreto can see Prost behind him. Prost can see Alboreto in front of him, into the swimming pool, left, right, out of the swimming pool, right, left, down to La Rascasse, up towards Vanderbilt, and again, Prost will try to ensure that he exits the right-hander, which leads towards Vanderbilt, tucked up under the wing of Alboreto's car, and into the pits, I think, is going Alboreto. Yes, indeed. Michele Alboreto goes into the pits. Now, let's see how long his pit stop takes. Start the watch. A swarm of Ferrari mechanics behind him, and Prost has gone up into third position, of course. Out goes Alboreto. I made it 8.3 seconds. They made it just over 9. And that's a very good stop. And the reason that Nigel Mansell retired is that he had a broken turbocharger, and that figures because you saw how he slowed but still kept going, and since he couldn't proceed at racing speed with the lack of boost and therefore a gigantic diminution in horsepower, out of the race went Nigel Mansell, into the lead went Ayrton Senna, up to second went Piquet, up to third went Alboreto, who has now gone into the pits.
The McLaren and the arrows, under the bridges, then into the tunnels. There's quite a contrast, although there are very, very powerful arc lights in the tunnel. To come out of bright sunlight into that tunnel, it really is quite dark, and vision is not good, but of course one can do it pretty much from memory.
Well, of course, has got a more powerful engine, I suspect, than the Megatron, but his tag power, compared with the Megatron power of Eddie Cheever, may not be enough quite at the moment. Cheever's coming up to Sandervot. This is the place, one of the few places where a faster driver can get by, but Eddie Cheever has got a tremendous amount of experience. He goes up the hill again, and this is the battle for third place between Eddie Cheever and Alain Prost, numbers 18 and 1 that you are looking at, with Ayrton Senna and Nelson Piquet, the two Brazilians, in the lead ahead of them. Behind them in fifth place, Michele Alboreto. Sixth is Warwick, seventh is Berger, eighth is Jonathan Palmer, getting closer and closer to the point in his Tyrrell, leading the 3.5 litre class. Nakajima has been building an extremely favourable reputation for himself this season as the first Japanese Grand Prix driver, and he finished in 7th place in Brazil. He finished 6th in San Marino in the points. He finished 5th in Belgium in the points. He's running well now on his first drive at Monaco in 13th place, and we've still got a long way to go. This is lap 48 that Cheever in 3rd place and Prost in 4th are on, and Nakajima could well move up several places before the race ends on lap 78.
But there is no obvious place for him to get round him. He needs Cheever to make a mistake.
And Eddie Cheever, in his 90th Grand Prix, is certainly not making one. Tremendous amount of experience this 29-year-old American has got, because he started off in karts, then Formula 3. He raced in over 50 Formula 2 races before he moved up to Formula 1 in 1978. And the number of teams that Eddie Cheever's driven for is incredible. He's driven for Hesketh, Tyrrell, Osella, Ligier, Renault, Alfa Romeo, Lola, Arrows, and of course he's in the Jaguar sports car team this year. So you can't tell Eddie Cheever anything about experience. And his Arrows seems to be more than capable of holding off Alain Prost, because Prost just can't find the opportunity at the moment, despite the fact that for the last 3 laps he's come out of La Rascasse there, right in the slipstream of Eddie Cheever's Arrows, and if anything, Cheever moves away marginally as they come up to Sandervot, and there's no way Prost will get through there. Leading then, Senna, then Piquet, 24 seconds behind Senna, so Piquet has closed up a bit, but I'm sure it's because Senna's going slower rather than Piquet's going faster. This is the battle for 3rd and 4th, Cheever and Prost. Alboreto is still on the same lap in 5th place. Berger in the 2nd Ferrari is 6th. Derek Warwick is down to 7th, therefore. And again, Prost is right up under the tail of Eddie Cheever's Arrows. And of course, all the time, these drivers with the bumps and the heat are taking a tremendous personal pounding.
Yes, and the physical side of Grand Prix racing is really quite extreme now. The G-forces in the car are very big indeed. The acceleration, the braking and the cornering, and the body is undergoing a huge battering all the time.
Lap 51. Senna leads, Piquet 2nd, Cheever 3rd, Prost 4th. There they are. Alboreto 5th, Berger the last man in the points 6th, Warwick out of the points now 7th, Palmer in 8th position leading the 3.5 litre race, 1 lap behind the leader. Capelli is in 9th place, Johansson is 10th, Martin Brundle is 11th, and Prost is going for it.
And Eddie Cheever appeared to make a little mistake there, a little bit slow out of the Rascasse, but he's held on in front. Prost was looking for a way around. Looks like his moment has passed. Still you see that little bit of vapor coming off the Arrows as he goes over the brow of the hill. He'll be doing it every lap. And Prost now looking down the inside, and Prost finally has managed to find a way past. That is the first overtaking manoeuvre he's made in the whole race. So Alain Prost moves up to 3rd place. He's some about 20 seconds behind Nelson Piquet. So we'll watch that gap and see if he can do anything about working into the lead. And there we go again, out of the Mirabeau, out of the Casino Square rather, down to the Mirabeau, under braking. And Prost of the available tyres. There's Ayrton Senna looking very comfortable now, no longer having to push hard, watching only the gap and the mechanics or the mechanical areas of his car, trying to protect the car. He will cut down the revs on the engine a little bit. He'll be trying not to bounce on the curbs. As you see there, not using all the road.
And on lap 52, Michele Alboreto has moved up into 4th place ahead of Eddie Cheever, and the race order is Senna leading Piquet. There is Senna by 24 seconds. The Lotus Honda leads the Williams Honda. 3rd position, Alain Prost. 4th position, Michele Alboreto. Down to 5th following that pit stop goes Eddie Cheever, and in 6th position now it's Gerhard Berger still, with Derek Warwick in 7th place, Palmer 8th, Capelli 9th, Johansson still 10th, with Brundle on the same lap as Johansson in 11th place, and Farby 2. Now he's going into the pool area. Watch his right hand as he changes gear. Now he's coming down to La Rascasse. Watch his hand as he goes down through the box into 1st gear, down to 30 miles an hour as he stands on the brakes. Now he exits. He'll see his pit board very shortly. Look for the yellow pit board of Satoru Nakajima. There it is. He's now coming up to Sandervoort, and that's a 70 miles an hour corner. He accelerates up. Watch his hand again. 3rd, 4th, 5th. Down a gear for the 4th gear, left-hander at the Hotel de Paris, 95 miles an hour. Picture break up, never mind, that was fantastic. This is the 2nd place man, Nelson Piquet. Senna has completed another lap. Piquet is 31 seconds behind now. Senna is now on his 57th lap, and Nelson Piquet can do nothing but hope that his fellow Brazilian will strike trouble in the Lotus and let him, Nelson Piquet, number 6, through into the lead. Piquet needing points in the World Championship. He's 4th equal with Senna at the present moment on 6 points. He completes the lap. He's now 31.6 seconds behind Ayrton Senna, with the sun shining on the climb to Casino Square. The diners in the background, you saw them behind the plate glass windows of the Hotel de Paris, having one of the noisiest meals you can possibly imagine. And the gap between Piquet and Prost now is down to 13 seconds. So Prost is giving it his all, and he has got another 21 laps, including the one that he's on, in order to continue to eat into that gap. There's the diagram which shows you. Piquet is the red one, Prost is the green one, and you can see when they start moving it, as Piquet comes up towards the Tabac now, it should start to move very shortly. And it doesn't, but we have a broken computer. And we have a broken Riccardo Patrese's Brabham BMW, because the Italian is out of the Monaco Grand Prix. Those yellow things in his ears, of course, are ear plugs to keep out the noise. And Riccardo Patrese, who failed to finish in Brazil, San Marino and Belgium, has failed to finish in Monaco. Ferraris of Alboreto and Berger 4th and 5th, and Eddie Cheever's Arrows 5th, ahead of Warwick's Arrows in 7th position. Ayrton has lost his 11th place, of course, now to Teo Farby that you saw going through, and that means to say that Nakajima, still plugging away, has moved up into 12th position, and that's Derek Warwick. Derek Warwick out. I don't know why. Oh, poor Derek Warwick. He really does have the most appalling luck. There is his Arrows. He finished failed to finish in any of the 3 previous races that we've had. Now that's Eddie Cheever's car. Well, this is incredible because in the twinkling of an eye, have they come together? That is the Café de Paris, which as you can see is being knocked down. You've seen Warwick walking away. That is Cheever's car. So both the arrows are obviously out. Cheever from his place, 5th position, and Warwick out of 7th place. And that is changing things considerably because now on the 62nd lap, that means that Palmer has moved up into the points, leading the 3.5 litre class, and the order is Senna, Piquet, Prost, Alboreto is 4th, Berger is 5th, and now Palmer is in 6th position with Capelli in 7th place, and Martin Brundle has moved up into 8th position. And this is what so very often happens in the Monaco Grand Prix, in the closing stages of a race which is always very grueling indeed, not just for the cars but for the drivers as well. You get cars falling out and people that were well down start to move up and to finish in the points. And this is going to be, if Jonathan Palmer finishes where he is now or higher, which he might well do, the first time that a 3.5 litre car has finished in the points this year in this 2 class, in effect, World Championship Series, and how appropriate that it should be one of Ken Tyrrell's Tyrrell Fords that does so. That's Piquet that you've just seen go round. The producer is looking for and finds Alain Prost in 3rd position. The gap between Piquet and Prost is now some 16 seconds. And Ken Tyrrell, incidentally, forecast just before this race began that one of his cars would finish in the points, as he did for that matter. And at the beginning of the season, he said that Monaco and Detroit, which is the next race in 3 weeks' time, would be the strong ones for his very nimble, very light Tyrrell, which started this race some 200 pounds lighter than the turbo cars. 28 is Gerhard Berger, and Berger is in 5th place, about to be lapped by Ayrton Senna, the leader, who is on his 63rd lap. And Cheever, Eddie Cheever, retired with gearbox trouble. Retirements, the major retirements: Boutsen, Streff, Nigel Mansell, De Cesaris, Johansson, Patrese.
That, of course, will have the effect of waking him up if he's gets a good shot of adrenaline when he makes a little mistake like that.
Yes, I've got the stopwatch going to see what the gap is, because it was 37 seconds. I don't think that slide would have cost him anything more than a fraction of a second, but we'll just check. Meantime, Capelli has suddenly lost some 30 seconds on Palmer. Capelli in 7th place, Palmer in 6th position. There's Alain Prost rounding the swimming pool and the gap now is exactly 37 seconds to the nearest whole second between Piquet in 2nd place and Prost in 3rd, so there is no loss of time there. Piquet is now like Senna, the leader, who's going into the hairpin. He's now on his 66th lap. Now Senna is really going to have his time cut out. He's got a whole gaggle of cars in front of him. The Ferrari of Berger is 5th. There is the Leighton House March of Capelli, who is in 7th place. Now let's watch them all come out of the tunnel. It's going to be interesting to see how Senna deals with this. Well, he's passed the march. Capelli's let him through. There's Capelli. Now the two Ligiers of Inzani and Arnoux, who are 11th and 12th. And of course, this is slowing Senna up. It's giving Piquet somewhat of a chance to catch him, but it's a false reading in a way, because when Senna's got past them, as surely he will, Piquet will then be faced with the problem, and the status quo will be returned to what it was before. the status quo, in other words. So there's Senna. He still hasn't caught Berger. He's up with Ginzani now in the distinctive Ligier. Then he's got to get Arnoux. There's Senna. Berger, of course, threading his way through. There's the Ferrari fifth. Senna first. Senna is on his 69th lap now. Round the Mirabeau. Down to one of the slowest corners on the circuit. The slowest with Rasgas, 30 miles an hour. Now Berger is going to go for Arnoux, who is in 11th place. I think Senna is actually just keeping a watch. Senna took the opportunity to nip through and take Berger's Ferrari, and Berger's in trouble, obviously. He slowed right down, and if that is so, there will be another change, because Jonathan Palmer will move up into 5th place, but we'll have to see as they come through and complete the lap. All the time, Jonathan Palmer's zero reliability, and he's just gone past me, is moving him up as other cars fall out. Senna is not one of them. He's about to complete his 69th lap behind René Arnoux with the white helmet. It is 10th and is past him. So the progression of Ayrton Senna continues. There's Peakley, there is Prost, and now let's follow the bouncing balls. The Senna, Piquet and Prost, purple, red and green. Senna in the top, and he is on his 77th lap. That's Prost. He's going jolly slowly. Is Prost in? Is Prost in? Yes, indeed he is. Prost in trouble.
Yes, looks all over for Prost. Smoke coming from the bottom of the car at the back. So, almost within sight of the finish line. Alan Prost looks to be out of the race. He's parking the car. So that moves Michele Alboreto up to 3rd place, Berger into 4th, and Jonathan Palmer up into 5th place.
I thought something like this would happen. It always does in the closing stages, and this, of course, is going to have a very dramatic effect on the World Championship situation, because Prost is not going to get those 4 points. It means that he will be finishing on 18, only 3 points ahead of the man you're looking at, Ayrton Senna, who, if he finishes first, will be on 15, with Stefan Johansson 3rd on 13, Piquet 4th on 12, Mansell 5th on 10, and Alboreto, who in the Ferrari is still in 3rd place, will be 6th with 8 points. It's getting closer all the time, and it's getting closer to the finish for Ayrton Senna there. I recap that Alain Prost is out of the Monaco Grand Prix, having seemingly blown his tag engine or a turbo, and it means to say that Jonathan Palmer then moves up to 5th position to get 2 World Championship points. Martin Brundle moves up to 7th place in the Zach Speed, and that's a better finish than Brundle could have expected. He finished 5th in San Marino. Here is Senna. So now on lap 78, Senna leading. Piquet is in 2nd place, Alboreto is 3rd, Berger is 4th, Palmer is 5th, and up into the points, a very worthy Ivan Capelli in the march will be scoring his World Championship point and his team's first World Championship point. It won't be Capelli's first point because he finished in Australia the year before last. And look at that! The Lotus team cheering, and Senna takes the checkered flag, and Jonathan Palmer very sensibly stops behind him, which means to say that he has not got to do the extra lap. And the Monaco Grand Prix has been won by Ayrton Senna in the Lotus Honda, the first active ride victory in a Grand Prix for this pioneering Lotus suspension system, and I'm sure it won't be the last. Magnificent drive by the Brazilian. He took the lead, Ayrton Senna, on the 30th lap when Nigel Mansell retired. He held it very convincingly every inch of the way thereafter, and he, of course, dramatically improves his World Championship points. Well, so confirmation then, again as usual, subject to official confirmation, victory in the 45th Monaco Grand Prix for Ayrton Senna's Lotus Honda, with Nelson Piquet in second position, with Michele Alboreto in third place, Berger in fourth position, Jonathan Palmer fifth, and Capelli sixth. Prost still leads the championship by only 3 points now from Senna.